good time to talk about number 4 Texas Christian controlling number 18 Texas 17-10. This game was supposed to be a high-scoring affair, and it simply was not. The defenses came to play in this one. Right now, you're just watching Kendre Miller, the best running back nobody knows about, take it 75 yards to the house. He becomes the first 100-yard rusher against this Texas defense all year. And this is after they basically kept the lid on the dude for the better part of 2.5 quarters. But you had one linebacker miss his gap. Kendre Miller exploited that hole and took it all the way to the house. He came into this game as a 1,000-yard rusher. This coincidentally was one of the first matchups we saw between 2,000-yard rushers, the other being Bijan Robinson for Texas. And then here, what felt like the game was, the play to put the game away for me, which put TCU up 10-3, was Max Duggan looking up and seeing 6'4" Quentin Johnston all by himself in the end zone. Those Texas safeties just got all sorts of turned around, and somehow you end up with a top 10 draft pick, the number 2 wide receiver on most people's boards, including mine, going into the NFL draft, wide open and alone on the 40 acres. Can't happen. And for Texas Christian, this is an outstanding win because they came into this as a 7-point dog to a Texas team that, frankly, they've had the measure of over the past 10 years, but they also had a lot of emotion on their sideline and a lot of emotion from their fans. The way I want to set this up is, quite frankly, Gary Patterson has a statue of himself at Amon G. Carter Stadium because that's what he meant to Texas Christian football. He had that statue while he was still head coach there. He stepped down and then took a job as a special assistant to head coach Steve Sarkisian at Texas, a place that he has mercilessly teased in years past and a place that Texas Christian fans absolutely hate. As a matter of fact, 2015, he was asked before they're getting ready to play Texas, what is the challenge for your defense? To which Gary Patterson said, we've beaten better with less. And they did just that on October 3rd, 2015, stomping on Texas 50-7. I thought going into this one, it wasn't going to be that lopsided, but certainly TCU has felt everybody, including myself, just say, I don't trust you as an undefeated team. And they said, cool, that's fine. We secured our spot in the Big 12 championship with this win, clinched the position, and we moved to 10-0. Fight us, because everybody else who's tried to has lost. That's 5 ranked wins for the Texas Christian Horned Frogs in Sonny Dykes' first year. And this is the part where I make Oklahoma fans even madder than they already are when I say it is not out of the question to think you're going to see Garrett Riley on one sideline, USC head coach Lincoln Riley on the other, and you're going to have to deal with it. Also, shout out to Joe Gillespie, who is Texas like to read about, a high school coach from Stephenville who showed up with a defense that he brought from Tulsa running 3-3-5 and giving Steve Sarkisian fits. All right. I'm impressed by the Texas Christian Horned Frogs. I want them to keep this energy going, especially knowing we got Max Duggan on one side of this. We got, quite frankly, the number 1 recruit in the 2022 class in Quinn Ewers on the other. Max Duggan wasn't even a starter to start this season, and he has become the guy once again for TCU. He finished the game what I thought was, underwhelming performance and really was riding the run game as much as he could and the defense. But Quinn Ewers really been underwhelming basically since Alabama. He's had 1 300-yard passing game since he returned from injury. In this game, he was 17 of 39 for 171 yards with an interception and no TDs. He's overthrowing receivers. He looked like he was not seeing the clear picture. Joe Gillespie and that defense doing a great job of just confusing that dude. Every time they drop people back into coverage, he looked lost. Jatavian Sanders couldn't do much. Xavier Worthy couldn't do much. Jordan Whittington couldn't do much. All of these starters and stars for Texas getting stymied by the Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. Got to love it. Time of possession on this one, TCU just held the ball. 37 minutes, 22 seconds to Texas, 22 minutes, 38 seconds. This is also an extremely important win for TCU. Win your clunkers. That's the rule. Win the games that everybody says, I don't know if you're any good. And you get to say yes, but that's a W and not an L. We've seen it. Ohio State did it last week with Northwestern. This week, Texas Christian did it against a ranked Texas team that a couple weeks ago, even Joel Klatt is making the argument. Tell me that if you win this game, that's not a top 15 team against Alabama. Tell me that team's not that good. It's a good football team that TCU beat in a game that, frankly, does not break for them. They are scoring 43 points a game. Matter of fact, they ranked 3rd. Oregon ranked 4th in scoring points per game. Both of them underperformed on that front, but came out with what I thought was, in TCU's instance, a defense that said, no, we're here to play in a way in which, frankly, they hadn't been tested all year. I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the way. They've got a couple of really interesting games left. One against Baylor, a game they could lose, and one against Iowa State, a game they could lose because the Big 12 is just that tough this year. But they control their own destiny to get in the college football playoff. All they got to do is win the next 3 games they play, and they're in. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.